Road to the London Stadium. This is the Premier League preview of West Ham vs Leicester on matchday 2 of 38. Europe meet Europe on Monday Night Football. Both teams are coming off the back of hugely successful 2020-21 Premier League campaigns. Out of all 6 London clubs represented in the Premier League last year, West Ham finished second, just 2 points behind Chelsea, who qualified for the UEFA Champions League in 4th place. Leicester split these two Londoners as they ended their campaign by finishing 5th. Ironically, the first time Leicester were outside the Champions League spots came in the penultimate game week of the campaign. No wonder why both managers were nominated for the Barclays Manager of the Season. West Ham completed the league double over their opponents last season and have started their 2021-22 campaign right where they left off. On opening day, West Ham came back from behind twice to win 4-2 at Newcastle. The team appears to have found their mojo and is thriving under David Moyes. I'm certain Moyes will realise just how vulnerable that Leicester defence is at the moment. None of the 4 Leicester defenders that started 20 or more Premier League games last season featured last week. There is a possibility that one of them may make a return tonight, as Timothy Castagna trained with the squad earlier this week. Of the remaining 3, Johnny Evans, Wesley Fofana and James Justin are out of contention. On top of that, Fox's defensive signings aren't fully ready. Rodgers was forced into bringing Vestergaard on in the 62nd minute against Wolves, who had nothing to show from their 17 shots at the King Power. I'm sure it would have been a very different story if Wolves had Neto or Podence back from injury. Another defensive reinforcement in Ryan Bertrand misses out through COVID-19. That leaves Soyuncu and Schmeichel, who will come up against an in-form West Ham attacking unit who have resurrected the London Stadium. I think Moyes will set up with a high line to capitalise on this makeshift Leicester City defence. Amati looks unconvincing in that backline, and Ndidi was out of it last week, losing 10 duels, the most of any player on the pitch in that fixture. I'm sure the West Ham forwards will be wary of this and be ready to pounce on careless errors. This high press will be led by Mikel Antonio, who is poised to become the club's all-time top scorer in the Premier League. Over the past few years, Antonio has fought off competition from Lucas Perez, Javier Hernandez, and club record signing Sebastian Haller for that central striking berth, and not enough credit has gone his way. He is their lone striker in a 4-2-3-1 formation. That midfield 3 comprises of Pablo Fornals, Said Benrahma, and Jarrod Bowen. Last season, Fornals and Bowen missed 7 big chances each, which tells you the type of positions they're picking up. Fornals is a cretin chief and seems to be the heartbeat of the team. Against Newcastle last week, he created 4 chances, which was only bettered by Paul Pogba and Kieran Tierney on the opening day, bagging 1 assist. He is a clever technical player and is keeping Lanzini out of the squad. I think Lanzini has the tendency to play for himself, whilst Fornals seem to play for the team. Going forward, the team appears to play unselfishly, and we regularly see many passes being exchanged before the ball is released to Antonio, who will apply the finishing touch. I think Fornals will feature on the left wing and make his way into the centre. I think West Ham intentionally diverts attention away from this flank so that the ever-present Cresswell has every opportunity to pick out a man. Benrahma appears to have the freedom of the pitch. I think Moyes will deploy him in the same role that Arnautovic, Payet and even Lingard performed during their memorable stints with the Hammers. I think Moyes got his man, and we will see some magic from the Algerian soon enough. I do feel that the club needs to find a spot for Manuel Lanzini. He could be a really important player for them, and I think he can be an impact substitution. The midfield pairing of Declan Rice and Thomas Suchek has been the team's linchpin to success in the past 18 months or so. They both play their roles very well and in tandem with one another. Both players are quick to vacate their positions depending on where the team requires them. They are very much reactive players. On paper, they both are CDMs, but Thomas Suchek won the most duels in the league last year, showing that he is able to get past his man and progress the team. Suchek also had the most shots from all West Ham players last season. He, alongside Antonio, were the club's highest scorers in the Premier League, with 10 apiece. Only 3 midfielders from all Premier League clubs scored more than him, highlighting his importance to them. Another area where he is extremely valuable is in the air. West Ham opt to look for Suchek or Antonio from the goal kick and then walk the ball to one of their surrounding midfielders. This prolific aerial ability will come in handy as the West Ham wingbacks look to cross the ball at just about every opportunity. He isn't much of a ball winner and committed the most fouls from all Premier League midfielders last season. Suchek's partner in crime, Declan Rice, does the dirty work for the team. Rice ranked third for interceptions from all Premier League players in the 2019-20 season. He was only one of 4 players to make over 100 tackles in that same season when the club was battling relegation. Truthfully, I'm not convinced about Declan Rice. I think there's a lot of talk about him, but honestly, he is an average player and I don't see what the hype is about. I'll give him this. He seems to get better in the second half. I'm sure it has something to do with the halftime team talk. Perhaps David Moyes or Mark Noble gives him an inside edge as to how he can improve in the second 45. West Ham's weakest point is their defence. They have a lack of rotation options in centre-back and wing-back, and it is handicapping them. When the Hammers defend, they get literally everyone except Antonio and Benrahma behind the ball. This makes it difficult for opposition players to thread passes through this defensive unit. I think James Maddison and Jose Perez do have what it takes to unlock the defense. Harvey Barnes and Jamie Vardy just need a sniff of a chance. There was a positional change for Vardy, who turned provider last year. The 2019-20 Golden Boot winner showed his versatility as he bagged 9 assists, which was only bettered by Harry Kane and Heung-min Son from all Premier League attackers last season. Vardy seems to have reverted to his lone striker best and was responsible for 6 of Leicester's 9 shots last week, emphasizing his importance in front of goal. I'm sure he will get on the score sheet tonight. I think West Ham and Leicester both fancy their chances going into this fixture, with both teams thinking they're better than the other. Both teams have got capable attackers that will look to exploit the opposition's porous defenses, and I think we're in for a Monday night treat. Only 3 teams outscored Leicester in the Premier League, but then again, only Leeds conceded more than Leicester did from teams in the top half. I can't see anything other than a West Ham win. West Ham are very much a form team. They will hold nothing back considering they've got Palace and Southampton up next. West Ham 3, Leicester 1.